yeah, yeah, about all sorts of things. Um, Saying, that's weird. Didn't Barry ring Suzanne? Did he just ring the neighbors as if he already know she was missing? But actually, Barry himself will say that he called, he'd tried to call her and then, yeah, called the neighbor or told the girls to call the neighbor. I've run out of puff, haven't I? Sorry, I'm still with the flu. But yeah, I just, it's interesting to see people's points of view because, everyone is desperate to nail Barry for it rather than just desperate to solve a crime, to the point where you've got someone calling themselves a private investigator when they're presenting information to you. They know people are going to run with what they say. She's not being clear, and now it's already being said elsewhere. Barry's girlfriend, he bought her a house with cash. Well, Jill doesn't know if this house is in her name. Doesn't know if it's a house that might have been left with her for her. If she doesn't know what the deal is. She's not really clear about that. She's saying that this woman, Shosho, is going to church with Barry. So yeah. It's funny because you can make anything up. Okay, so what if she is blackmailing Barry and she's keeping close to him, or he wants to keep her close to him? Who knows? Maybe she's just offering him some support. Maybe she is his girlfriend. She's a year older than Suzanne, so Suzanne would be 50 this year. She's turning 51 on March the 3rd, this show. No one... I'm waiting for the speculation about her age, and why would he be with someone so old? He'd want a bit of Crumpet, wouldn't he? Yeah. I mean, I would hope that all of those connections are things that the police are aware of. So in the initial investigation, they'd want to know who has access to the home, who the close friends are, what the connections are, and that they would have been carrying this through. So if there was any reason to suspect a housekeeper of collusion or of anything, wouldn't they be keeping tabs and know that there's a cash payment for a house? And you'd hope they'd be watching out, But let's not, it shouldn't be that the idea is to just find whatever you can on Barry Morphew, even though he would naturally be a person of interest. He's not named a suspect, and he's not even named a person of interest, but you'd have to think, well, he is, just because he's the husband. But, it's about finding Suzanne. Suzanne could be alive. She could be alive, being held somewhere. She could have run away. I don't know about that. Anyway, I'll speak to you later. I really do just think there's a difference between just coming out with stupid shit like Barry Morphew is bridge guy, and trying to solve the case. You've got to expect that Barry is going to be investigated by people and by the police. It's not right to slander and defame people. So, this show, anyone that's attached to Barry is coming under a cloud. Because maybe they are all loyal to him and they're helping cover up for the death of Suzanne. I mean, why? This is a lot of people that Barry has got in his pocket. I mean, it seems like he is a very omnipotent person that has great power and skills. This must be a huge crime ring. I really think if people are investigating Barry, they need to strongly investigate his, the people that he has done business with or may have taken business off. Anyone that knew that he and Suzanne lived in that home, and knew that he was going to go into Denver to set up a job. Now, this doesn't mean go and work on a site, okay? It doesn't mean that at all. But you might need to go and physically look, take some photos, do some measurements, just be out there for half an hour or so doing that, because you're not allowed to work without a special permit on the Sunday in that area. This wall is directly opposite thousands of eyes. What you don't see when you're showing that wall is the apartment buildings directly opposite. Hundreds of apartment buildings, all looking at the wall and at the road and this pathway where people are walking and would be out walking Sunday all day. No one's putting a dead body into this wall at any time, day or night. Okay, you got it? But the wall thing, yeah, it's okay. Is it queer? But it was Andy asking Barry specifically about the wall, about, hey, have you got any dudes that you deal with that are shady? And yeah, they should be looked into. And people knew Barry was going down to Denver on Sunday, and if they know where Suzanne is, they know she's vulnerable. Was the garage door left open? How did the neighbor check for the bike? Was he told or she told to find a key, or given the alarm code, or was the house left open when Barry left? Does he have a lot of guilt about that? Did he leave his wife sleeping upstairs in an unalarmed, unlocked house for any bastard to come in? But, if Barry has done something, yeah, if he's leaving in the early morning hours, he could have walked out first without being seen, laid a bike down, gone back, taken his truck, driven into Denver. You can all talk to you blue in the face about Morgan Gentile seeing, and the truck at 4 a.m. and him driving down the road at 4 a.m. He could have gotten up at 4 a.m. He could have been running his truck outside or doing something with the Bobcat outside, whatever it is. He did not take the Bobcat to Denver, no. But he could have been doing something from 4 to 5 in the morning. You don't just get up at 5 and go, and that's 1 second. You maybe get up at 4 o'clock, ring these people, getting organised. Who knows? But I don't believe he's idling outside Morgan's house. I mean, I don't know. She lived next to a busy car park. I've spoken about this before as well. She didn't even look out the window. She's not saying she saw it. She just says, yeah, heard his truck. Well, she's on a busy road at a pit stop, and could be anyone's truck out there idling, okay? Should see, the photos of her driving down the highway to Denver with stupid grin and Jeff Puckett asleep in the back, zonked out. They're photos of the site. The photos of that weekend, they're all pretty weird. I don't know. It's important to get it right. And profiling evil, they should know to be impartial, and they have not been impartial. And it sets a lot of this going on. And I think it's dangerous and upsetting, and it's wasteful, and it's not solving the disappearance of Suzanne Morphew. So, let's think of her positively. This year would have been a big birthday for her, 50 years old, and, who knows what happened to her. It could have been a very brutal, quick end. It could have been a terrifying, long ordeal. You don't know. And how awful, even more awful, is for the killer, for you to know that the killer is your husband. Isn't that awful? We don't know when she died, if she's died. We don't know when she actually disappeared, if she disappeared. Do you trust Barry? I mean, so far, he has not said anything proven to be a lie. People try to say it. They've misquoted him often, and it's normally Andy Mormon that's done that, and you don't know the truth, okay? So yes, Barry Morphew could be guilty of harming Suzanne. He could have premeditated her murder for a long while, and he could have people helping him, or he could have acted alone, or it could just be a lot of circumstantial evidence can mean anything, and that can all just be tragically sad. That circumstantial evidence, you know, circumstantial evidence could be tying in a lot of people to a murder that are completely innocent, okay? Because, you know, we're all desperate for information, so we're filling in all the gaps. But, you know, innocent until proven guilty. This is extremely important, and so is impartiality. But, you know, if you support Barry Morphew, that's wonderful. That's your prerogative. But, you know, for God's sake, you can't say, leave the man alone. How dare you say anything at all about him? Because unfortunately, we don't have that luxury, because there is that, you know, constitutional right, you know, to speak your opinion, isn't there? But you should be very careful with what you say. Make sure it's factual, and don't just do it to spark up an interest. And, you know, if you're going to make assertions, cast aspersions about people and their real estate situation, be very clear about it, you know, and actually say to people much more clearly, yeah, or maybe not say anything at all, because now this has gone around the world in 80 seconds that Barry's girlfriend has had property bought for her with cash. Anyway, I've run out of time, and you know, it's all just speculation, and you can say allegedly till you're blue in the face. That doesn't make it okay. All right, anyway, take care all. See you later.